isn't a job. 15 bucks, little man, put that ish.
Even know what that means.
Looky here, the Jolly Golly has GPS. Grandpappy search.
Ha! We just have to push this button, and the ship will take us straight to Harmony Cord Island. Ahoy! Would you like to join me, mateys and me, and help Captain Goofbeard? Well, put on your pirate hat and set sail!
Oh, say, you're gonna need a first mate, aren't you? Why, I've even got my wagon here to help carry treasure. I mean, supplies.
Pipe down now, Pluto. Pegleg Pete only wants to help. And we can use all hands on deck. Welcome aboard, matey.
Much obliged, Captain Mickey. You won't be sorry, and neither will I, once I get my hands on Captain Goofbeard's treasure.
Yo-ho, crew! Set sail for Harmony Cord Island!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Sunk.
Ho, ho, ho!
I wish I had what was inside that trunk.
Inside that trunk!
Ah, it's a sad pirate tune I play for you here. I feel like a ship with no rudder to steer.
No rudder to steer.
Ho, 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 ho!
I'm a pirate with no treasure, who's lost in a fog. Now old Captain Goofbeard's just a worthless sea dog. A worthless sea dog.
Come on, open your darn treasure.
Don't worry, Captain Goofbeard. We're not sunk yet. There's Pegleg Pete.
That low-down sea sponge. Open.
All right, let's get to some questions here. We're gonna get to y'all in a minute. Let me get a few out first of all. Let's start with the term super predators. Now, earlier this week, Bill Clinton made some very disturbing comments seeming to defend Secretary Clinton's now infamous super predator comments and disparage the Black Lives Matter activists. What are your thoughts about what he said, Senator Sanders?
Unacceptable. I think we all know what that term meant when in the context that it was said years ago. We know who they were talking about. That's exactly right. That's who it was. And I think that the president owes the American people an apology for trying to defend what is indefensible. But let me, if I may, say it was not just that. During that period, a piece of legislation called the so-called Welfare Reform Act was passed. You all remember that? And the premise, which was a right-wing Republican premise, was that the problem was that all of these poor people were really living high off the hog. They were all the quote-unquote welfare queens. Remember that? All these poor people just living so well on welfare. And that bill was passed, and the result of it was that extreme poverty for the poorest of the poor went up very significantly in our country. And what that politics is about, what that psychology is about, is to adopt the Republican belief that the way you get votes is beating up on the poorest and most vulnerable people in this country. That is a bad, bad way to win votes. To beat up on people who are helpless, who are barely making it economically, and to go after them to win votes and to cut benefits for children, for moms, is unacceptable. And we are going to put an end to that mentality. We're not going to be beating up on the poor. You know, if you notice, in much of today's political discussion, the word poverty is virtually not mentioned. You know that? It's not mentioned. We got 47 million people living in poverty. We have the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth. I'm going to put the issue of poverty back on the table. And we'll continue to talk about it. But first point is, I think President Clinton owes the American people an apology for defending the indefensible.
Perfect scale. Let's play this out of scale. Gotta get rid of this. What's the big idea? We don't know. You're on the scale. Those guys are too big. Where did that go? I don't know. Yikes! Come on, let's pick them up. We'll give you a kind breakfast. What do you think you're doing? We want everything. It belongs to us. You can have it. Oh, yeah? Dang it! Get out of here. I got your pests. Those little... Wow, what do you do? Just that. It's for you. Is everything all right? Thank you. Isn't that cute? Uh-oh.
On June 10th of this year, members of the Knesset voted for the person they wanted to be the next president of Israel. With 2 rounds of voting, as none of the 5 candidates reached the needed 60 votes on the first try, Knesset member from the Likud party, Reuven "Ruby" Rivlin, won with 63 votes cast in his favor. He has just been inaugurated and has taken office. The presidential office in Israel is very different from that of the United States and has mostly a symbolic and representative meaning. The role of the Israeli president is a nonpartisan head of state who represents the country and the people as a whole in Israel and around the world. Among the president's tasks are strengthening mutual commitment among the citizens of Israel, social cohesion and national pride, ties between Israel and the diaspora, nurturing moral values, equality and peace throughout society, improving ties between the Jewish majority and the minority populations, and encouraging Israeli culture and creativity. The president's duties and powers include signing laws, signing treaties with foreign countries approved by the Knesset, credentialing the state's consular delegates, appointing or removing judges and other judicial officials, and pardoning convicted offenders, to name a few. So, who exactly is Reuven Rivlin? Here are 5 interesting things to know about our new president of Israel. Number 1, he does not believe in a two-state solution. Rivlin opposes the establishment of a Palestinian state, opting for a binational state instead, meaning the status quo. Number 2, he will be Israel's first vegetarian president. Rivlin has eschewed meat products for reasons of conscience since the late 1960s. Number 3, he was a victim of political pieing in 2001. While serving as a communications minister, Rivlin had a cream pie hurled at his face by a young female activist. Number 4, he's particularly concerned with the sensitivities of Israeli Arabs. Many times, Rivlin fought for equal rights for Arabs in the job market as well as service in the IDF. He even suggested establishing a separate Arab National Service infrastructure to allow young Arab citizens to serve in their own communities. And number 5, he's known as a pretty funny guy. Rivlin is often described as having a quirky sense of humor. When in 2013 Rivlin was ousted from his role as the Knesset Speaker, he said, and I quote, "I got to hear my eulogies while I was still alive." May the Lord grant our newly elected president wisdom. May he empower him to be an honest, loving, kind, and just person for all the people in Israel. And may he represent our nation to the world with honor and dignity.
ולתפארת מדינת ישראל.
You need money for the meter, money for the toll. Don't turn on the heater, daddy's on the dole. They tell me that the devil pays good money for your soul. We don't got no dough. Tell me there's $1 in the pocket of your jeans. Need money for the baby, the bacon and the beans. I'd buy you a dozen roses, but I just don't have the means. Don't got no dough. Sorry, Mr. Landlord, I cannot pay the rent. Run down to the bank and ask them where my money went. Then come back and tell me just who overspent. Mister, let me tell you, I blame the government.